First and foremost, Ireland know what they have to do. They go and beat Scotland next weekend and they're in the quarterfinals as group winners and everything is simple. What about Scotland, goes Simon? Would they be licking their lips at a chance to go at Ireland next week for a free shot?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell by the way Gregor Townsend's been talking in his interviews, he's happy being the underdog. Everybody sees Ireland as, already qualified and potential winners of the trophy already. So, with the personnel that they have in their team and the speed out wide and the likes of Finn Russell, Ben Healy, they're having a fantastic cameo. They do pose a lot of threats and they can cause Ireland a lot of trouble. But yeah, we'll need to be fully switched on because they are capable of running in tries in a 15-minute spell where, the game can potentially get out of your hands. But I fancy us being too strong.
This fixture always has some trepidation around it though, Jamie. And when you look at Scotland, okay, they haven't beaten Ireland by more than 10 points since 2007. They haven't beaten us by more than 20 points since 2001. Yet it still strikes fear in Irish hearts that they could upset the apple cart.
The amount of people that during the week they come up to you and go, Scotland. You never know what you're going to get. Yeah, and you're like, yeah. Like, I mean, if you look back, like we've beaten the last 8 times we've played them. I think we are the better side, right? And we're probably very uncomfortable as a nation being favourites coming into it. And sport's a funny thing, right? It's on any given day, but I think Scotland have to have an amazing day for them to beat us, and we have to be way off the pace. I think we can still beat them at like 80-90% of our best, and we're not at our peak. I don't think we even showed our best against South Africa. But it's a game that everyone's definitely going to be taking very serious. There's very clear targets on what we have to do. Just go out and win the game. That's kind of top of mind. And when the way it was good for South Africa to get back on the horse straight away, for us to kind of decompress after such a big win, kind of peaking for that South Africa game to a certain degree, decompress and come back into it Wednesday night is probably a better thing, so they can enjoy the time off, half celebrate it. They probably didn't go too mental at all. Gary probably leading the charge, as you were saying last week. It's a good space for them to decompress and get ready for what is going to be a massive climb for them to hopefully go the distance, and this is first and foremost on the list. What's
the biggest concern then for you, Simon, facing against this Scotland team?
No, I wouldn't have like huge concerns. I still think we're comfortably favourites. I fancy us to win the game. It's just probably how we contain their threats throughout the whole 80, because there's going to be patches where Scotland, start to move the ball well and they start to click, get their momentum. And we all know how dangerous Finn Russell can be. All he needs is 15 minutes of moments going his way, and that could be 2 or 3 scores on the board, which has a complete different complexion of the game then, So I just want us to continue our form but have it spread across the whole 80 and try and limit, their dangers, which will probably be inevitable, but the more we keep the likes of him quiet, the better.
Like, Scotland are dangerous because when you look back over recent games against them, they pushed us, actually. And there's 2 or 3 moments in each game that they had, like these championship moments that they just didn't take in the heat of the battle. And that's the difference with Ireland. Ireland are super efficient and more than likely will take a chance if you offer it up to them, and will be ruthless in that regard and not give you too many. So when you get them, you have to take them. In Scotland, jumping to mind, I don't mean to pick on Stuart Hogg, but he was a couple where he didn't give a 2-on-1 when it was on. He dropped the ball over the line. There's just 2 instances that jump to mind. And even if you look at the South Africa game, there's a couple of try-scoring opportunities that they scuppered. But they're going to come into this. They've created a lovely little narrative, which is they're the underdog coming into it. They have nothing to lose, going, hammer and tongs, and they have momentum now as well, which is a very powerful thing. We have it as well, but we've a 2-week gap. They're coming fresh from a win like that, and that's a positive group. It's going to be a big challenge for us.
Lastly then on that one, Simon, for Andy Farrell and his selection, he still has a lot of, full strength team to pick from. Does he go full bore at this as well, or is some of it about just managing the squad and trying to get some people who maybe, like Jack Conan, who haven't played yet at all in?
Yeah, for me personally, I'd be going full bore, absolutely. I think Scotland have too many threats. And they're just going to be too dangerous to step off the gas. You see, like Finn Russell, Darcy Graham, who's hit a load of form of late. They pose a completely different threat to South Africa, where they're going to test you in the wider extremities. They're going to test you with their speed of ball. They're going to test you on the ground. South Africa, that big forward pack and, that draining kind of game plan. I think our strongest team needs to be out and they need to be firing. especially being aware to the threats that are going to be coming out wide.
And given that this coaching staff know what happens when you don't do that, take 2019 as an example, they know they have to treat this with the utmost respect and send out their best possible 15.
Yeah, I mean, there might be an argument for playing around with the bench potentially. I know Bertie was talking about that last night. But I think you're starting 15. I think you have to go hard and pick that side. And the way that's going to be, the further we go in the competition, like those guys are just going to have to front up.
Yeah.
But we're in a great space, right?
Yeah.
We've managed our injuries. We've no injuries. We've managed the group really well. And then you have people who are knocking on the door, like Keane Healy posting during the week, and he looks like he's ready to go as well. So we've got a good depth there. So we just got to go hard and get everyone out the gap.
Yeah, it's a knockout game, you know, and it has been since South Africa. We can't afford any mistakes, and we saw the permutations there that could potentially happen. We don't want to fall on the wrong side of that now.
Yeah.